Hello, and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. The whole thing about goldfish memory is a myth. Did you know that? Actually, they can remember things for about 5 months, experiments have shown. I just thought I'd share that with you. Absolutely no relevance whatsoever to the episode you're about to listen. Well, maybe there is, I don't know. I spent some time as a goldfish. Well, at least I think I did. I can't remember. Anyway, we'd love to hear from you at hello@billowinghilltop.com. Email us. Paul will print your email out, and he will put it in a bottle, which is also maybe relevant or not relevant at all to the episode you're about to listen to. I don't know. Again, I can't remember. And throw it into the sea from a desert island, if he's ever allowed to travel again, which of course he won't be because of, well, legal reasons and all sorts of other things. Anyway, let's not get into that. You can find us on Facebook and you can find us on Twitter at Billowing Hilltop, and we'd love to hear from you. We would also very much appreciate any ratings or reviews you could leave our funny little show in your podcast app of choice, because it helps us get listed, and the more we're listed, the more we can stretch for our target of 20 listeners by the end of 2022. That's it, I don't have anything else for you, so wiggle your fins, swim around in delight as you enjoy episode 57 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, or When You Fish Upon a Jar. Tonight's beer,
yes.
Good evening everybody, is
Good evening.
PM Pick at the Pike Trail Pale Ale.
Sorry.
PM Pick at the Pike Trail Pale Ale from Cloudwater. It's very
Sounds
good.
delish.
It's like a limited edition number, Paul. Very good.
Yeah, very nice.
How is everybody?
Very good
Right.
indeed.
Yes, very
Thank
well.
you very much. Oh yeah, cracking.
Looking forward to some D&D.
Yeah, should we play some D&D?
Yeah.
Let's pick things up.
Yeah.
Let's not mess about. Does somebody want to do a recap? Shall I roll?
Roll for recap.
I did it last week.
Yeah.
You did.
Doesn't mean you can't do it
I
again.
think it's going to be... We know that Paul didn't do it. I think we're back. Should we reset it? Shall I just roll?
Yeah.
Go on. Sure.
Okay. Running around the table, rolling a D10, getting a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dan, please recap last week's session.
Well, we fought some things and we won.
I think it's great.
Well, there we are.
And,
That's absolutely
No
excellent.
need for any more.
And
And we can also, if we could probably save that and use that week after week, to be honest.
this doesn't happen every week. We don't always fight things, and we certainly don't always... Actually, we do always win.
You
No,
always
so
win.
we basically found a room with some doors in it with these tentacled things.
It's not getting any more specific. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We found
But-
a room with some
No,
doors
but
in
these
it.
are
We
natural
fought something.
caverns. There haven't been any doors apart
No.
from the one into the cells.
Mhm.
So
Where did we
It's-
start last week, Dan?
we started in one of the rooms underground with some,
With
odd-
some
no,
sort of
yeah.
saving
Glyph.
throws, maybe? Was that where we started?
Yes, that's right. With some saving throws. It's
Kind
all
of
coming.
glyph
It's all
of
coming back to me
warding.
now.
Flooding back now.
You started in a room with some doors.
Yeah.
You started in a room
No,
underground
no,
with some
no, we
saving
didn't.
throws.
No,
There were
we
some
didn't.
monsters, and
No,
you killed
no,
them.
you're not listening. We started in a corridor where there was a glyph which did some damage, and then that led to a room with some doors.
Yes,
Some
that's
big
right.
doors, and there were some tentacly balls of spikiness that did sort of rending
Yes.
damage that we dispatched summarily, and then we took a short rest, and then we opened the doors, because there's a red lantern. Yeah, I forgot the red lantern, which basically means careful here, it's dangerous.
And do not remove.
And then we basically opened the doors, and there's some kind of brain. I seem to remember.
That's exactly right.
Thank you. See.
And you're staring or
I'm on
you're
top of
looking into
everything.
this room with a sculpted stone brain in its centre.
Stone. Okay, I wasn't quite sure.
It seems like it's carved from a single block of purple-veined white marble, and it's pulsating. It seems to be resonating with your breathing. Bugraft and Parker, who are standing at these doors. To your left, there is a passageway, but before we get into any of that, we need to resolve what's happened to Bugraft, and actually, I think, potentially to Parker, because there's a sort of iron grip of mental energy has descended upon Bugraft. And Bugraft, you need to give me a saving throw.
Is it frightened?
This is not rolling against a frightening effect, no.
It's not sort of dexterity throw.
Can you give me a DC 14 wisdom saving throw,
DC
please?
14 wisdom save.
Oh, I'm not good at
Let's see
wisdom.
if I've got any
That's
bonuses anywhere.
I'm really not good at wisdom.
It's interesting for 5th edition and the way that it scales. I don't know if the rest of you kind of feel the same way. But the DCs don't move by very much. But because nothing else moves by very much, they just suddenly start to sort of hit a point where you just start to
Yeah, no,
14.
it's good.
You're like,
It's what they sorted 5e.
do you know what I mean?
Really good. +2 on this roll.
Excellent
No.
start to the evening.
Do I need to... Should I use my
No.
Ort dice? Can I have some sort of guidance from the Divine Ort, whether I should use it or not?
I'm sure you should.
The Divine Ort. What level are
I
you?
am 7th level.
You're not a priest of Ort, are you? You're a priest of Irisi Bearclaw,
Greasy Bear Claw.
the god of mountains and storms. What level are you of a
2nd. I'm a
roll
mere
percentile dice to the
nothing.
chance of divine intervention from Irisi Bearclaw?
72.
The Lord of Storms does not
Right.
hear your call.
I will use my Ort dice.
Okay, you roll again and add a d6.
Oh, it's a 1, but I'm a hobbit.
You can re-roll that one.
A 13
30.
plus a 1d6.
Then you have
Sorry, no,
plus
it's
2
plus
anyway.
2. It's 15 and a
You made it.
You made it.
so
You made
20.
it. You made it. You made it. You made it. Okay.
Any sort of idea what that might have been?
You feel there was some attempt. You see, attempt is the wrong word because attempt would imply mens rea, forethought. But this thing is a stone object. But certainly it has a baleful influence, and that baleful influence was trying to control you in some way. Even though you've made the save, Uncle Buggy,
Oh,
you're reeling from a sort of mental assault. You're in trouble in terms of anything around your intellect or your wisdom. You think for a short period
fuck, on a save.
on a
Shit.
save, yeah.
So you really wanted to make that?
You feel
really
like
wa-
your brain has been kind of scrunched up like a piece of paper and kicked about.
What were these things around the brain on the 4 sides? Sorry.
Well, there are benches, and the benches have got
Benches.
manacles bolted into the tops of them, like a prison van, right? Only not a van. That's a really bad way of putting it, but you see what I'm saying. To kind of keep people in place who are sitting on the benches.
Okay, I'm going to run into the room, and I'm
Okay.
heading down the small side corridor to the west.
So, Graham, I'm thinking protection from evil would be quite effective.
Okay.
You've
here.
got a light
Yeah.
spell, have you, Uncle Buggy?
Yes.
So this is probably what the prisoners were for.
Uncle
Yeah,
Buggy, you can see down a
sacrifices.
set of
Yeah.
stairs that lead off to your west, and a corridor that seems to curve. It's like you're standing at the base of a circle, and the circle is working its way around from you. So the corridor is on a curve, the stairs run down. After about 15 feet, that corridor opens up into what you can see, you can infer must be a semicircular chamber that continues in this orbit around whatever central fulcrum point that you're running around.
Any hostiles?
There's a door on the right-hand wall, on the inner wall, as it were, of this circuit, and it seems to open out to the left. There's no sign of any hostiles. There is a kind of sound of a kind of bloop, 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 kind of slimy, gloopy kind of bloop sound.
Sounds like Paul in the bath.
No, that's much more
I've
violent.
never been there,
But
Johnny.
thanks for sharing.
It's much, much more
Yeah,
violent.
I couldn't afford the entrance fee. You could see just the corner of what looks like a large glass tank of some kind of gloopy liquid.
Well, I don't want to get too close to this brain. All right, but I'm going to carry on moving. So is it difficult half movement down the stairs?
What we've already established is that the more Uncle Buggy pushes on in front of everybody by himself, moving as fast as he can, the better things go.
Yeah. Let's do that all over again, Johnny.
Is that a hint?
No,
No.
that's just me.
No,
You know,
no.
I'm just adding.
How bad can it be?
Yeah, how bad can it be? On you run.
Well, it's half moving down the stairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just easing my way down the stairs and
It's
just
not the real
looking for any
bugger off.
hostiles.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that it is, in fact, you were right, it is a semicircular chamber that seems to, as it were, stick out from this central orbit that you're walking around. And there is a tank at the apex of the curve away from you on your left, and then on your right, there's a door leading off to your right.
Still no hostiles.
No, there's nothing, there's no sound of movement or anything. There's nothing
Can
around.
the
There's
brain
just this.
see me if it had any kind of visual?
You're only 3 foot tall. You think that if you keep your head down, you would no longer have a line of sight to this
Yes,
brain.
that's what I'm doing.
The chamber, now you're in it, there are some tall bookcases, there's a desk, and then there's this tank of weird blooping green liquid. I mean, it's not floor to ceiling, but it's 10 feet by 10 feet, and if the ceiling is 12 feet high, it goes up to, say, 8 feet. There's about a 4-foot clearance from the top of the tank to the ceiling. I mean, you're only 3 foot tall, so as far as you're concerned. Let's give somebody else some time to do something. Who wants to stick their hand up something and call it a jacksie?
Thanks,
I
mate.
don't know. That didn't go very well at all.
No.
Who wants to do something? Parker, Burple, Sessions,
Well, I
Alessandra?
just wanted to make the point. I've got, depending on what the effect is of this brain, I've got counter charm, which might help.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. How does that work?
Well, I just basically sing to counter whatever. If it's,
Oh, I see.
It needs to be a charm effect. Frightened or charm.
Okay.
I'm thinking protection from evil might help, which I think Sessions has.
Yes.
But I can't do very much directly.
Okay.
Just some thoughts, really.
Thank you for your contribution. Anybody else want to do something?
I think waiting to see if Sessions is going to do a protection from evil would be quite useful.
Yeah, I was just reading to see what it does. It's only one person.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, in which case I'm going to run through.
It's not one that scales, as far as I can
But you could do it
see.
on one person at a time as they go through the room.
I
As
could
long
do
as
it
it's
on
not
one.
concentration.
Yeah, it's.
Depends if it's effective. We don't even know if it's
Yeah.
effective.
Well, I could only do it 4 times, I think.
Right.
Alessandra's going to run through,
At the back, but
I'm really
that's-
shit at wisdom saves.
Alessandra's going to just run through. Yep.
but she has advantage against being charmed.
Okay.
So I don't know if that has any effect.
Does have an effect, but when you're...
Just not in this particular instance.
Yeah, it does have an effect in other circumstances. As you step into the sort of line of sight of this brain,
Yeah.
can you give me
Go.
a wisdom save, DC 14?
A wisdom save.
But
DC.
you can roll it at advantage.
Okay. I don't need.
And you make it. You feel like you've shrugged off an attempt to dominate you in some way, but even though you've saved, you feel like you're mentally vulnerable, like you've been mentally squished.
Okay. Now I've made the saving throw. I'm going to run round, follow Buggy, go down the stairs, and I'm going to go and stand next to him into this room.
And what about Parker, Burple, Sessions?
So basically, counter charm. If it is a charm, counter charm is probably our best bet. So I can just sing as an action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anyone within 30 feet of me gets advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Right. Well, you do that and I'll run through.
But you need to stay within 30 feet of Burple. So you
Yeah.
need to move together. But that can
So-
be done. Sessions, do you want to go with them?
Do we know what the effect of saving is, though?
No.
If there's a negative effect to passing,
Yeah.
then it might be worth doing the protection from evil, as well as the.
What does that do?
Well, it's one willing creature.
Yeah.
Creature.
It's mental control,
Can't
isn't
be
it?
charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's terrific.
So the possessed
If they're all-
is the difference. If it's dominate, is that charm? I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's a dominate person thing.
Could be.
I
Okay,
mean,
well, let's do it with your.
we're getting very
will make
metagaming.
you
Yeah.
But
do
what,
If I have advantage, I'm reasonably confident that I
Yeah.
can save a wisdom.
I'm
save.
really not. I roll at -1.
you know that Alessandra has got advantage against being charmed. I mean, you don't because it's so metagaming. I don't know where to start. But she
We know
seemed
that
to get
elves
advantage
are.
on the saving throw.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It is a game, after all. It's not
It's
just
a charm. Let's go for it. We'll go through under your charm umbrella.
it's under a charming umbrella.
still not a great
It's
chance.
advantage,
for
isn't it?
me. It's advantage, yeah. It's better than nothing. But I can only move 6 squares and do the counter charm. So that's like right up to it. Next to it.
Right, is that as far as you can go?
Yeah, that's 6 squares.
And what's your wisdom saving throw?
-1.
-1. Okay, so what I'll do protection from evil on you.
Right.
I got +6.
Yeah, so Vi,
So I'm-
you do your song, and hopefully we can get through the room with only one spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sessions will cast protection from evil on Burple.
So Burple, you can travel through the brain. You kind of feel the brain reach out to you, the power of the brain, but it just slips off you. It can't affect you.
And I'm doing it all the while I'm singing as I go through, which gives advantage to Parker and Sessions.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll run through
And
afterwards.
we'll go through.
Parker and Sessions.
No,
can
we
you
go
both
through
give me-
together.
Yeah, wisdom saves DC 14.
First one
Sessions rolls a 15.
is a 15, yes.
Okay, so you all make it through. I presume you're running down the steps following Bugraft and Alessandra, and you end up in this chamber at the foot of the stairs, and you're out of the line of sight and the immediate baleful influence of this weird brain.
Right. What can we see round the corner then?
The arc of the corridor continues
Yes.
up to a set of double doors and a set of stairs that lead back up again.
to a second brain chamber.
Whatever it is, as it were, symmetrical. It seems to be regular. It seems to be a reflection of that same setup. In this chamber, there are papers all over the place. It looks quite chaotic. It looks like perhaps it was abandoned, maybe in a slight hurry.
I'm going to grab the papers and shove them into my bag of holding.
Sure.
I'm going to go and listen at the double doors, kind of requesting that others stay back. So I will run a perception check.
While he's doing that, can we do an investigation on this?
The
alcove?
vibration, by the way, is diminished now that you're moving away from the brain.
Yep.
Mm.
So I get a foot.
You don't hear anything through the double doors.
Are there any kind of handles on them again, or is it just...
Yes, these are not like the doors from before.
Okay.
They're quite intricately inlaid white wooden doors, sort of decorated to look a little bit like marble. They both bear the tentacly symbol from before, with round, bulbous door handles.
Okay. Should we wait and do this room first, and then we can move on?
Burple, Parker, Bugraff, Sessions, can you all give me perception checks, please?
Perception check, eh?
Yes, please.
50?
What?
Purple gets 14.
17 sessions.
Yeah, okay.
12 plus 2, 14.
Burple, Sessions, all of you, in fact. Something just moved in that tank. There was a sort of particularly loud and something, a sort of darker form you could just perceive shifting around in the green murk. Now what do you want to do?
Kill them.
I'm thinking of smashing the tank.
You want to try and just...
People not keen on that.
But it does kind of get rid of any element of surprise of any other rooms.
Friend Guide Storyteller, you smashed the double doors in to get in here. You've made a load of noise. You had a fight outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burple has been singing a song of anti-charm.
They know we're here.
Yeah. That reminds me, I've got my ears blocked.
I'm sorry, what?
Got my earplugs in.
How dare you? I'm outraged.
All right, Alessandra's going to go and listen at the other door.
Listen at the other door. Very interesting. Give me a perception check, please.
21.
Can't hear anything in particular. You might get the sense that there might be a change in the kind of acoustic signature, so that you feel like you may be pressing your ear up against the door of a much larger space.
Okay.
But it's nuanced. It's not quite as clear cut as that. I don't know.
Are
But
we going
that's
to go
really
around?
all you can determine.
Are we going to search this area, deal with this thing in this tank, and just go around the skirt around the central room?
I don't think we want to leave whatever's in the tank behind us, do we?
No.
No, I'm not bothered. But if we're
Kind
going
of
to
leaving
engage,
the brain thing behind us, though, I suppose.
I think we should have a look in the tank.
But that seems to not move.
Yeah.
have a look in the tank, Jules.
Has anybody got any kind of optical device or...
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called an eye.
I've got two
Uncle
eyes.
Buggy. I've got an Uncle Buggy. He's good at probing stuff.
Oh, is he?
Okay.
How can I open... Is there a
Whatever,
hatch at
to
the
each his
top?
own.
Hence the restraining order.
Is there a hatch at the top of the vat?
You're 3 foot tall. You're looking up the side of a glass tank. You can see that it's
I will fit a mirror onto
cylindrical.
the end of my extendable pole and
Yes.
extend it up to the top of the tank.
You're looking down at an open tank, like a pot. There's no lid. You can see thick, gloopy green liquid. You get the sense that there is a darker mass within. Remember, this thing is 10 foot across, this tank. And every now and again, there's a kind of bloop as some gas emerges from the goop.
So it is like Paul in the bath then.
Yeah, that's more like it.
I don't know, has anybody got purified food and water?
I mean, except it's actually happening, whereas I don't think Paul's actually had a bath since.
Since they banned him.
Oh no, that's
Thames
not.
water. Yeah.
I had a bath last week.
I think they've cut you off completely from the sewer system, haven't they? Causes too much damage.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. What's happening with you people? What do you wanna do? You're standing.
Can anybody do
I'm
purified
just
food and
thinking
water?
I can do briefly control elemental forces, chill or warm.
You know that we can hear what you're saying, don't you, Lucas? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just reading it out
Why?
because I can do something. I could presumably do something with the water.
There may be a watery component to the liquid, but it's not water. Of that, you can be
Okay.
certain. It's closer to something like lemon curd.
Oh right.
It's
Green
a sort of
slime.
yellowy green, gloopy, viscous liquid.
Or you could try dumping a bit of fire on it. Is there space underneath the pot, thing, or is it sort of like flushed with the floor?
I think it's flush with the floor.
Yeah.
It's a heavy glass cylinder sitting on the floor, like I am because I just accidentally kicked the little lever at the bottom of my chair and I rapidly descended.
I'm wondering what would happen if we started a little fire next to it. Start heating it up.
Interesting.
Go on then.
Okay, so I can. It says light a campfire within 30 feet. So I'll move.
Our readers can't see this, but you've never seen so many tokens move so
We'll
quickly.
move away from it,
The room is now empty.
and we'll set a little fire.
When the fire catches and it's really going, it starts to properly crackle. Soot marks spread up the side of the tank, and the fire reaches a sort of, as it were, a critical point. And as it does so, a tentacle comes over the side of the tank. It's changing colour as it does so. It was clearly a sort
another one
of
of these
darker,
creatures.
greeny yellow colour, but it's changing to a purple colour as it comes over the edge of the tank. And then there's another tentacle, and another, and then one with a kind of razor-sharp pincer, and then a body mass emerges. It's got the same yellow, baleful, viscous, single, cruciform pupilled eye as those creatures that were outside the door, but this thing must be about 3 times the size of them. And it beholds you, Parker, with that gaze, and let us roll for initiative.
I wouldn't like to see how much damage it does on a double hit.
No.
No, we better get our trusty barbarian up to the front.
I am at the front. Front's heading towards the doors.
Purple gets a 15.
Your
Alessandro
alternative
gets a
front
17.
again.
The double doors. No, it's proceeding forward.
Parker gets a 10.
19 for Buggy.
90 for Buggy, Alessandra,
17.
17, Sessions, 15.
Let's move on. Buggy.
Well, no, it's it.
Oh, okay.
It fixes all of you with its baleful gaze, and can all of you make Bugraft and Alessandra, you can save at advantage. It's a DC 15 Constitution save.
Oh dear.
Let's start with Sessions.
20!
Makes it. Congratulations. Move on to Burple.
Oh god. Follow that. Okay.
Are you still singing, Purple?
I might be.
Ort dice.
That's not good.
Well, I'm trying to work out what the effect is. I think
Burple, you know that the others who are affected by the smaller
slowed.
versions of this creature were slowed. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't think it's anything to do with charm or anything like that.
Okay, so I'm going to roll again.
So you're using your Ort dice.
I'm using my Ort dice. What else am I going to use it for?
Oh, it's
17.
17 is enough. Parker. Oh.
Another Ort dice.
Rolls a 3.
Yeah, a 3 is okay.
13. Is that going to be enough?
That's a save. Yeah, 16.
Bugraft rolling at advantage.
11
And
and 18.
you make it. And finally, Alessandra.
16 on the first roll.
16 on the first roll, and a 21 on the
Okay.
second roll.
You're all okay.
Yes.
It sloops over the side of the tank and it ambles
Laconically.
laconically. It sachets, in fact.
With a bit of a swagger.
It's got a tiny little top hat that's just slightly tilted over the top.
Does it have a cane?
It's got a cane. It's basically like that guy from Monopoly.
It's Fred Astaire.
Yeah. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum,
I was
ba-dum,
thinking more
bum,
Fred
bum,
Astaire, yeah.
ba-dum,
Yeah,
bum,
Fred
ba-dum,
Astaire.
ba-dum,
The fat guy from the Monopoly box.
Tentacles on Parker. And
Tap
it
dancing.
emerges from this tank and it slorbles towards you, Parker, and it attacks you with its giant tentacles. The first attack with its tentacles, 21.
Is a miss.
Second attack with its tentacles is also a miss. And we go on to Bugraft. Uncle Buggy on 19.
So what are we doing? Going bashing it?
I would think that's probably the obvious.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
kill it.
It's
10,
twice as big,
20.
twice
I
as nasty
suspect it's
as
coming
the
to us
previous
if we don't go
30.
to it.
It's easily twice as big as the ones that you've encountered before.
Okay, I'm raging and I'm going
Yeah.
moving up to it, down the stairs, past everybody.
Yeah.
As a frontline fighter, and then I'm going to attack it with my great axe.
It slurps at you.
22.
22 is a hit. Yep, absolutely.
14 points of damage. 2 points is cold. My second hit, a 10.
A 10 is a miss, I'm afraid.
And that's my go.
Alessandra, this is now you. You're stuck at the back at the top of the stairs.
Given that I'm at the top of the stairs and it's about 10 foot below me, do I have a clear shot on it?
I think that you can easily see enough of it to have a straightforward shot, yeah.
Brilliant. Oof. Hitting arm class 13?
Is a miss.
Dang. And then I'm going to break up my round a little bit. I'm going to move down the stairs and next to it, side by side, with Uncle Buggy. And I'm going to do a rapier attack. Hitting armor class 23.
Yep.
Doing 10 points of damage, and also I've got sneak attack. Doing a further 17 points of damage on it, so a total of 27.
17 points de damage. This thing looks... You're hurting it, but it's a great big thing. Session Zeeper.
So it looks pretty scary, does it?
I mean, it looks just like its smaller cousins, but it's just a lot bigger.
8 times the volume.
8 times the hit points.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to try something a bit different.
Oh.
Ooh.
A little dance, maybe?
A little dance.
Yeah, a little victory dance maybe in a minute, but let's see what happens.
Some magic tricks.
I'm going to try polymorph on it.
Polymorph other.
It's just the spell is just called polymorph now.
And it's a cleric spell.
It is a cleric spell.
Always used to be arcane only.
Yeah, well, it's not anymore.
I don't like the sound of this at all. Tell me about it.
I'm thinking that it really should be a fish, and I'm trying to turn it into a goldfish.
What do I do? How does
You
it
need
work?
to make a wisdom 14 saving throw.
Just making sure it hasn't got any kind of crazy resistances to your spell that I didn't know you had, and it's very
Okay, I
annoying.
think the key one is if it's a shape changer, hopefully it's not, it has no effect.
No, that's why you weren't using it before. So we're going with a straightforward wisdom save, yep.
Which you'll make.
Go on, Graham.
What's the DC? So he says
14.
delaying again.
DC 14.
14's a really big number.
You always make
Needs-
saving throws. 9 times
Well.
out of 10, you make a saving throw.
And let's just roll the dice. Rolling.
It's looking promising.
An 8.
Plus 6 wisdom.
Come on, it's a goldfish.
It's a goldfish. It is goldfish. Is it effectively? I mean, it's actually a goldfish.
It's actually a goldfish. It's limited by the abilities of the thing it's transformed into. A goldfish.
Which can't breathe on land.
No.
What level spell is that? 5th?
4th.
Bloody hell.
You can see within range of a new form. Wisdom save. No effect. Oh, that's right. Change your creature with hit points. Oh, you have to concentrate on it, right? I
Yeah, it's
understand.
concentration, so...
Yeah, got it.
Well, at least it retains its alignment and
Well, I was
personality.
going to say, yeah, I mean, it's not all bad news.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was quite, as cuttlefish go, it was a bit of a charmer. It's flapping on the ground.
Creature returns to the number of hit points it had before it transformed. If it reverts to...
It doesn't get a save every round. God, that's a bit of a killer spell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going
Well,
into my
yeah, but
list
the only
of...
thing is we can't attack it, right? Because if we attack it, it gets the hit points of a goldfish. So if we do damage on it, then it returns to 0 hit points, and that damage is transferred over.
Yes, that's right.
So it's sort of basically, we can now ignore it.
Well, Graham still has to concentrate on it.
I'm wondering whether we should throw it to the brain and see what happens.
Well, we probably don't want to kill it, do we?
No, but maybe if it...
I'm wondering if we can put it in
In a jar or something.
something
Yeah,
solid.
exactly.
Holding. My bag of holding.
And then what?
And then it suffocates.
Yeah, you're putting me in an interesting position. This is
I
exactly
think
the kind of stuff I
It
love.
might.
Or we
If it
could...
suffocates, does it go to 0 hit points?
Yes.
Because...
Well, it doesn't really matter, though, does it? It's in the bag of holding.
Can't get out.
Is there no way out of a bag of holding? Are you sure about that?
And you can't breathe in a bag of holding.
It's an
No.
extra dimensional space, is it? I don't know.
Let's have a look. This is great. I love this kind of stuff.
First edition.
Breathing creatures inside a bag of holding can survive up to a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures, after which time they begin to suffocate. If you suffocate it, you'll take it to 0 hit points. When you take it to 0 hit points, it'll turn back into an octopus.
And then suffocate again.
And then suffocate again in the bag of holding. Yes.
Yeah, assuming that it can't get out of the bag of holding.
I've just got this mental image of this tentacle kind
Well,
of
exactly. I love that. I love
working
that.
its way out through the bag of holding, grabbing Bugraft round its neck.
Tentacle coming out the top.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hold up. First of all, it's not as big as I was thinking. It's not like a house inside a
Yes.
bag.
64 cubic feet.
It's only 4 feet deep. And this thing is more than 4 feet deep. So I think when this thing turned back into an octopus, it would be too big for the bag of holding. If it's overloaded, pierced or torn, it ruptures and is destroyed and its contents are scattered in the astral plane. So you could get rid of it that way. But it would cost you your bag of holding.
And everything else that we got in there.
Yeah.
A metal flask or something would be the...
Yeah, a bowl, anything. We just need to probably make sure it doesn't die during the 1 hour we can concentrate on it.
A bowl needs
Right.
It needs to be something that will crush it to
Something
death
with
once it
something with
reverts.
water in it. No,
Oh, right, I see what you mean.
What we could do is we could
Ooh.
surround it with sharp, pointy things so that when it reverts back to its original shape, it automatically skewers itself.
Or you could put it in a glass bottle and use it as a grenade. Basically,
that's a good
the
idea.
bottle explodes, the fish gets skewered from the throw and the thing, and then
and
basically it reverts to its
reverts.
normal form and attacks whoever's nearest. We hope.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's quite fun sounding, though.
That is.
Yeah. Who can we throw it at though?
Well, whoever's through the next set of doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm assuming they'll be on the same side.
We just don't
Possibly.
want Graham to get hit by an arrow while we're holding it and fail his concentration. Have we got a bottle?
What's in this room?
Are there any jars in this room?
I think we can take it as read that there are some smaller containers in this room, even something with a stopper.
Oh.
Start off by putting it into something with a stopper and some water so it doesn't asphyxiate.
Fantastic. I love this. This is terrific. So yeah, you turn it into a goldfish, you pick it up, you put it in a bottle of water, you put the stopper in, you've got to keep concentrating or the whole thing will explode and turn into a giant octopoid.
Octopoid
You
bomb.
do realise that this
Yes.
is now a thing we can do. When we get back out into the city, we're going to buy a number of stoppable glass jars.
Yeah, you can only do it once. One at
It's a
time.
concentration spell and it only lasts for an hour maximum. It doesn't really matter because an hour is an eternity in
Yes, exactly.
So what happens if we put it in a 2-inch thick lead box
I dread to think.
and then basically let it turn back into what it was before?
Well, there's a conservation of mass thing going on there, Lucas, that you would probably be better equipped to answer than I am. Would it break the container, or would it just become an amazingly dense piece of octomeat in a kind of cube?
It'd become an octocube.
Yeah,
A
well,
stock cube, a fish stock cube.
it's
Yeah.
magic, isn't it? So
Exactly, I don't know. It's like when it reverts.
It's the gases, right? So the gases would be...
Yes, it would go incredibly hot. If you look at the volume of this thing and you try and turn it into something the volume of, say, a cigarette packet, then it's going to melt the lead around it because the pressure that it's under and
Yeah.
whatever is
Yeah.
going
But
to
it's going to
basically...
take damage in the process, what I'm saying. I mean, you'd probably have to assume that the lead box would just explode,
Yes, it might turn into a bit of a weird sort
bit of a nuclear...
hobbled oblong that
Yeah.
then
This is-
frantically trying to
This is
chase
all
after
becoming
you.
very Douglas Adams.
It's all very odd. And let's move on. So, what do you want to do now?
We want to debate what happens to this thing once...
I think
You've
we're feeling
got-
very smug. Maybe someone should check. Have we searched all these cabinets?
You haven't investigatively searched this room to see if there's, for example, secret compartments, secret
should we do
doors,
that
stuff that's
first?
hidden, all of that stuff. If you want, yeah.
Graham,
No, let's keep moving.
Because you're on the octo timer.
If we were on the octo timer in an hour, it's going to pop out and be a big evil greebly in front of us. So let's keep
Octoclock.
moving.
Graham, did you...
Who's carrying it?
Is the
Uncle Buggy.
protection from evil?
No, should someone who's good at
Concentration
throwing
as well.
stuff.
Somebody's good at throwing stuff.
We did that last time, didn't we?
How's your timekeeping, by the way, Graham?
Me?
Yeah. I mean, not you, Sessions.
When Uncle Buggy starts shaking.
Hang on. No, I'm not
Is
the
Sessions
default.
wering around going,
carrying
1 even star, 2
octo
even
worms.
star, 3 even star.
Something like that.
I have a very accurate orrery, Mike.
It sort of doesn't really work on the scale that's useful to you. It's sort of...
I think Alessandra should take it.
It's very important that Sessions doesn't take any damage, of course.
Alessandra's good with ranged weapons, right? So
I
she'll
will
be
take
good at
it.
Okay, so Alessandra is carrying the octo bottle.
Can
I'll go, come on, Buggy, pass it to
Oh,
him,
I
Buggy.
love
can
the
I
octo bottle.
carry on
Buggy.
exploring? Because I don't want my rage to end. I might be able to fight something before my rage ends.
Well, I mean, there's something right here if you can...
Don't you have to keep taking damage?
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I can achieve 1 point of sort of ear flicking or something.
A point of ear
Flick its
I'm
ears.
Yeah.
not sure that that's what the elders of the great tribe had in mind.
No, it's got to take damage or attack a hostile creature.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Let's keep moving.
+2 thumb in the eye.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got 1 rage left.
Oh dear.
All right, so we've got 2 doors. We've got
Yes.
the double doors at the top of the stairs, and we've got the single door, which seems to open into the sort of whatever's in the middle.
A larger area.
Yes. Should we keep going around the outside, or should we go?
Yeah, come on, double doors.
keep going
double
outside.
doors.
See what happens.
What about long
then.
rest? Anybody?
We don't long rest, so the octobomb turns up,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
We can't
Run
rest
out
now.
to do
We've got to
That'd
keep
be a bit of
going.
a schoolboy error.
I got loads of spells left. Let's go.
That'd be a wake-up call, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Alarm clock.
I don't think I've had my full 8
Morning.
I love this polymorph spell. It's just so much more complicated than it was at first considered.
Expected, right.
Are we still in round sequence, or are we out of round sequence?
No, well, I think we're out of round sequence.
All right, I'm going to go up and have a listen at the.
I mean, I'm obviously
Doors.
counting the rounds down.
Yes, I know.
You keep seeing Sessions looking at his fingers. He's like counting. He's like, hold on.
Keeps losing track.
Is that 30 or was that 40? Fuck.
Better start again. 1, 2.
I'm going to listen at the doors.
It's like a weird episode of Taskmaster.
Oh, I love that program.
Craig Davis is very funny.
Yeah.
Yes, but Mike Wozniak. Oh
Mike
my
Wozniak. Oh my god.
He's so funny. He is so funny.
Oh.
What are you doing with these doors, Alessandra and Buggy?
Alessandra's going to listen at the doors, and
Okay.
she rolls an 11.
You hear nothing. I mean, not nothing, but I mean, there's nothing
Perceptible.
obviously moving or making a noise on the other side of the doors.
I'm. Are they locked? Or are there any handles? Do they open? Which?
Yes, there are handles. It's
Really?
like a kind of, I mean, anachronistically, it's sort of like a set of double doors you might see in something like Versailles or something. It's very
Oh, okay.
posh, with 2 scrolled golden handles.
Does it look like, by looking at kind of hinges, is it looking like they're pulling towards me or pushing away from me? Do I think?
It looks like they are pulling towards you.
Okay. Have we made tons and tons of noise in this room?
Yes.
So I don't think there's going to be any surprise going on.
You doubt it. I mean, you've all been arguing about what to do with the octobomb for the last
The goldfish.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
I will gently see if I can pull one of the doors so I can take a peek through.
Well, you can pull one of the doors. There's no problem at all. And you reveal a circular chamber. In the centre, there's a grotesque ebony statue of a vulture-headed humanoid with large feathery wings and razor-sharp talons at the end of avian digits.
Type 2 demon.
The rest of the room is taken up by large glass cases. You can make them out from the angle that you're standing at. They seem to be equidistantly spaced around the chamber. There are 3 glass cabinets, and the one that you can see directly opposite you, that you can see the most of, it looks like it's full of kind of art. It looks like it's you know what it looks like? It looks like it's a museum. Glass cabinets with glass shelves, and on those shelves are placed objects that look odd. You can see a shrunken head, for example, in the one opposite you. There are some books, black leather books. There's a little bronze statue in there of a griffin or an eagle or something. This is just a quick cursory glance of what you can see from the doorway.
Okay, I'll relay this all back onto the others.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just look at the go. Do you want me to go in?
Well,
Does somebody else want to take the
Yes,
octobomb?
maybe. Yes, maybe a good idea if you give the bomb to Parker.
I'll ask Parker to gingerly take the octobomb.
I'll gingerly take the octobomb.
We could park the octobomb, just put it on the ground.
Yeah, and not forget it, yeah.
Not forget it, yeah. But it might be fun to throw to
The
someone.
sound of breaking glass, slithering.
Yeah.
The sound of
Flap,
gasping.
flap, 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 flap.
Basically, absolutely depending upon this edition's absolutely absurd drowning rules to keep you alive for long enough to run away.
Okay.
It's not the most welcoming of museum environments.
No, I'm learning my lesson from the last time I got attacked from above.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a really good long look around this room before I step in.
Are you stepping up far enough so that you can clearly see the contents of all the cabinets?
No, I'm standing in the doorway, assuming.
That's the question that always panics people.
Yeah.
You crossing the threshold?
Are you crossing the threshold, or are you standing on
Where
your side of
exactly
the...
are you standing?
I'm standing at the threshold.
Are you putting a foot onto the floor of the room itself?
No, I'm not.
Okay, fine.
And I'm
That's fine.
taking
That's
a
fine.
very, very long look around.
Well, I've given you the detail of the cabinet opposite you.
Yeah.
I'm saying you could see a little bit of the cabinets to either side of you. The cabinet to your left, on the top shelf of it, it looks like the preserved head of a juvenile black dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Its eyes are glowing faintly green.
Ew.
There's an odd cage covered in thorns on the middle shelf. There's a large velvet pillow that you can sort of see the corner of from where you're standing, and you think that pillow or cushion has got something golden on it, like a kind of an artifact of some sort. I think that's... on the bottom shelf, reassuringly, there are a set of sort of spiked chains that are twitching as if they're alive. Let's talk about the cabinet on your right. The top of the cabinet, there is a statue of a pseudo-dragon.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Not very good, 11.
There's something on the next shelf down. You can't make out the detail of it. I mean, it looks a bit like a doll, but you can't make out the detail. Everybody else has gone very quiet. You think you can see the corner of a thick tome that looks like it's wrapped up in chains.
The Necronomicon.
You think you can see the point, perhaps, of what might be a scimitar or something on the bottom shelf. It is glistening potentially supernaturally, as in it's not necessarily just catching the light. It may have its own integral glow. And there's something else on that bottom shelf that you can literally make out a sliver of the side of. It looks like some sort of golden object.
We have gone from Douglas Adams to Harry Potter.
It looks like this is he's a collector.
Yes. These are all specific items that somebody's been collecting.
He might be interested in my sword.
Yeah.
And is this the Mindflayer's collection?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But there's some scary shit in there.
Yes.
Should we go into the other door?
Well, I don't know. You got another double door the other side. I'm wondering what that demon's going to do.
Yep.
And take a look there.
You're a rogue.
Yeah, you're supposed to be,
You're probing and all
good
that.
probe, distant from everybody.
Didn't they
distant
explain
ahead of
that to you when
everybody.
you rolled your character up?
I guess not.
No, clearly not.
Yeah.
Maybe he's reading through the small print thing he signed.
It's going,
Terms and conditions, you just scroll through, don't you? And then you just tick the thing and then click next.
It's like, oh no, there it says put yourself in unreasonable amounts of danger.
Yeah.
Whilst
Yeah.
the cowards behind you throw insults.
Fighting at the front.
All right, I'm going to.
I'll come up behind you.
No, I don't want you to come up. Stay away. Stay away.
Support.
Uncle Buggy, go away.
Now we've got Alessandra in the doorway of this place and Uncle Buggy and Parker queuing behind her on the
Yes.
steps. Yeah, okay.
Queuing.
Going, go on, go and listen to the
Session's
other door.
frantically counting on his fingers.
Yep. Still counting.
Burple every now and again, casting a little kind of slightly worried glance at everybody.
Right.
looking between the bottle and the
Yeah.
guy up at the top, sidling towards the exit, but then
All
there's
right.
a brain
Yeah.
over there.
I'm
It's
going
like,
to-
no, I'm not going that way.
Don't forget the giant brain behind you. Yeah.
I'm going to take a 5-foot step forward into the room.
The one that I needed
Okay.
Graham's
Yeah,
assistance
okay.
to navigate the first
And
time.
so,
As you step
yes,
into the chamber, nothing happens.
brilliant.
You can see more of what's in the cabinets to your left and right. Would you like to hear those details?
Yes, can I just
Yes.
interject and say everything I'm doing stealthily, so if you want me to roll stealth, just let me know.
Make a stealth check. Roll a 1, that would be funny.
No!
Thank you very much.
I just knew it the moment you said it. It's a stealth of 10.
It's an
You're not
automatic
quiet.
one.
Yeah.
Fail.
The case to your left,
Yes.
the thing that's sitting on the velvet pillow looks like a holy artifact dagger
Yeah.
with an ornate hilt with a jewel inset into the sort of weighted pommely bobbly bit. Those chains are still twitching away. There's an odd, it's an odd black metal cage. You can just see it clearly now. It's covered in spikes. It's just really weird looking. On your right, that doll-like object on the top shelf, it's a doll of Burple Herpish.
Ooh.
What?
Voodoo.
It's been repeatedly spiked with what look like manticore tail spikes, spike devil spikes, some kind of organic, some kind of bestial spikes. They look
Yeah.
like tail spines or porcupine spines or something. It's absolutely festooned with them. The book is about 4 inches thick, and it is sort of, every now and again you think it's sort of maybe even slightly straining against the chains that bind it. The bottom shelf, you were right, it was a scimitar. It's a very tasty looking scimitar. It's glowing with a faint rose radiance. It looks of exquisite craftsmanship. Next to it, there's a periapt. One of you already owns a periapt of health, am I right?
Wasn't that
That was
Cuthbert?
Cuthbert had that.
That's what it, I mean,
Yes.
that's all I can really tell you. Can you give me an intelligence check, Alessandra?
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Or do you have the Arcana skill?
I do have, but my intelligence is better than my Arcana, so I'd much prefer to roll intelligence.
Give it a go.
Oh my,
Okay,
terrible.
fine. No, don't worry. I won't trouble you any further. Anybody else want to do anything? Uncle Buggy, Parker,
Counting and
Session,
concentrating.
Burple?
There's no sign of a rod anywhere, is there?
A rod? No.
I don't think we should touch any of these items.
The thing will animate, won't it?
I think these are all kind of laid out for people to kind of drool over and want to have, but I think the moment you touch any of them...
I'll go and have a look at the far cabinet. Is there anything else in the far cabinet?
The cabinet opposite. The top shelf, there are 4 black leather books. Standing on their ends, laid out one behind the other in a staggered way so as to form a little bit of a sort of a smart display. Each of the books bears the title Unspeakable Tome. Give me a perception check.
10.
Yeah, that's fine. There's a book tucked behind that stand of 4 books that looks thicker, looks more intricately designed and bound. On the second shelf, what Alessandra thought might be a griffin, there's a bronze griffin figurine.
That's a figurine of wondrous power, isn't it?
There are
Sounds
4
like it.
jars on the shelf below it, each of them containing some kind of eye on an eye stalk, preserved, you presume, in some weird liquid.
Green and grey?
No. No.
Beholder
Uncle
eyes.
Buggy, give me an intelligence check.
Are these canopic jars? 13.
You've heard of beholders,
Yeah, beholder eyes.
of eye tyrants, and from what you've heard of beholders, you wouldn't be surprised if these eyes weren't beholder eyes, severed off at the stalk and preserved in some sort of jars. What about Parker and Sessions and Burple? The little goldfish just
Goldfish swimming around, concentrating,
just wiggles happily in its little
and
bottle.
counting.
Goldfish just reaches into its side and pulls out a little pocket watch.
I'd like to spend
Takes a quick look at it, tucks it away again.
10 minutes to do
No
a
time to lose.
detect magic ritual.
10 minutes would be okay.
So Uncle Buggy has investigated the cabinet on the far side.
Alessandra has had a decent look at both the cabinets on either side of the door.
Right.
Alright, so I'll do a ritual to detect magic.
What is everybody doing for the 10 minutes while Burple does that? Are you continuing to investigate the chamber, or are you...
Yeah, I'll go to listen at the doors, the double doors.
Okay.
I will have a closer look at this statue without getting within 5 feet of it.
Yeah, I
and-
presume nobody's actually interacting with any of the
No.
items in this chamber.
No.
I'm
Right.
sitting on the bottom step thinking.
I roll a 25 perception.
You can detect on the other side of that door the same effect that you detected on the other side of the door in the chamber behind you. The sense of there being a greater space on the other side.
Oh, okay.
What else is anybody else doing in these 10 minutes?
Can I do a perception investigation check on this statue?
Do you have Arcana skill?
No.
Well, can you give me an intelligence check then?
That would be... Oh, God. A 1.
You're just staring dumbly at this thing.
I'll have a look at the statue and see if I can... 13. To try
Yeah,
and work out what it is.
you don't know what it's a statue of. It doesn't look like a statue of something very nice, but you're not picking up any other kind of nuances about it. You can smell the magic in this room, right? That's why I'm making you make Arcana checks. You can just sense that there's magic everywhere here. There's magic in these cabinets. I mean, the whole thing is just reeks of magic.
Stick a straw up the nose of the...
Are there...
Is that what you're going to do? The old
actually,
school technique to
touch
determine
it.
if it's a statue or if it's a
Yeah.
frozen thing?
Actually, I'm not sure I want to do that. Can I
No.
peer up its nostril? Does it look like it's a proper nostril, or is it a stone?
It looks like it's a statue's nostril.
Can I
It's
do...
a guard statue, isn't it? It's going to come alive if you're trying to steal any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any signs of any worms of any description?
No.
I'd like to do basically a fingertip search of this area for traps and secret doors.
When you say the word fingertip,
Oh.
can you be very specific about where your fingertip searching?
I'm going to fingertip search
Yeah.
the walls just beside the right-hand cabinet.
Are you going to start working your way around the room?
I'm going to start working my way
Are
around the
you
room.
searching the cabinets? Are you searching the statue? Are you searching the doors themselves?
Yes,
or are you
but-
just searching the walls between all of those items?
I will start with the walls in between, and
Okay.
I'm not disrupting anything when I talk about a fingertip search. I'm talking about a very close search.
Right, so you're leaning forward and peering,
Yeah,
but you're not disturbing them or touching them in any way.
yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
We'll leave you to that for a bit.
Thank you.
I'm going to say they're investigation checks. Just give me a cluster.
Cluster of investigation.
We're just abstracting this. Okay, well, that's a good high number. 22. Wow. Okay. Big numbers. You don't find anything, even though you were rolling rocks.
Okay.
No hairline cracks, no concealed little catches or widgets or gaps or panels or discolorations or anything that would make you think that there was anything else going on.
Okay. Close inspection of the cabinets themselves, not the contents.
Yeah.
Are there kind of doors that would open? Are they sliding?
Yeah, they're glass cabinets with glass double doors
Okay.
with no handles.
Very 80s.
The cabinets themselves, yeah, very 80s. The cabinets themselves are effectively just a series of pillars, supports.
This sounds like
Sounds like
Graham's
my figure
figure
cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're display cases.
Yeah.
Last call for people doing things while you're waiting for Burple's spell. Okay, so Burple, are you entering the chamber?
First of all, I'll do it from the door.
The statue is magical.
Right. Do I get any kind of details about the nature of the magic?
Maybe some sort of transmutation aura, and maybe an abjurative aura, and maybe a divination aura, all sorts of mixed up weirdness. Running through the cabinets, you can only really see the one in the far side of the room from where you're standing. So let's do case number 2. There's a magical trace from something sitting behind the 4 black leather books on the top shelf. The bronze griffin figurine is magical. The jars containing beholder eye stalks are not magical. That's it.
Okay, well, I'll step into the room
Okay.
so I can do the other 2 cabinets.
Cabinet number 1. The preserved head of the juvenile black dragon is magical.
Yeah.
Something necromantic going on there. The odd black metal cage is not magical. The dagger resting on the velvet cushion is magical. The spiky chains that twitch and wiggle of their own volition on the bottom shelf, definitely magical. There's something necromantic going on there and all sorts of other weirdness. Case number 3. The statue of a pseudo dragon, there's something going on there. There's a sort of transmutation aura. The doll of you, Burple, aside from being massively unsettling, it's not apparently magical.
What do you mean apparently?
It just doesn't seem to be a magical object.
Yeah, but why did you insert the word apparently?
Apparently,
Where, in that
just.
particular one.
Okay, I accidentally said apparently. Draw no or inferred no significance.
Right, okay.
The tome wrapped in chains is magical. The scimitar on the bottom shelf is magical, as is the periapt of, well, what seems to be a periapt of health. That's kind of it. Can you give me an arcana check as you're inspecting all of this stuff?
10.
You're peering at this stuff, you're peering at the statue and the room overall. There's something going on here, but you're damned if you can work out what it is.
There can't be so many items. It's a trap, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a trap that you can circumvent.
I think it's.
I suspect one of these with the aura is the trigger for the statue.
Yeah, I think, well, your abjuration, transformation, and some kind of deity stuff going on, so it's going to transform into something that casts abjuration spells on behalf of a evil deity.
It'll
The
transform into a
transformation
devil.
might just be from stone to flesh, yeah?
So it will transform.
Divination might be some sort of warding effect.
We could put the jar with the goldfish in front of the statue and then stand ready to close the doors and then basically fire an arrow at the goldfish, killing it, and then close the doors and then let them get on with it for a while.
But you have to summon them, don't you?
And then go in and mop up whatever's left over.
I think you have to trigger it by interfering with one of these magical items.
But surely you'd think that creature, if it's in that room,
I think this is kind of like the place you come back to when you finish the rest of the area.
There's magic here
Yeah.
that
There's
could
a
be
lot.
ours.
Anybody do a mage
There's
hand?
a lot of magic. Yes, I can.
That plan with the Lucas's plan, we could do that. We just activate it with a mage hand, grab something.
We could, but we don't need to fire an arrow at it. Graham just needs to stop concentrating.
True, that's true. Yes, you're right.
So we leave the bottle in the middle.
Oh, close the doors, seal them.
Well, no,
And then
we stand
stop
ready to
concentrating.
we have a readied action to close the doors and bolt them.
Right. Yeah, but no, surely you wouldn't.
Have we established whether there is a bolt?
Well, iron spike them then.
I think you have to sort of take one of these things off the shelves. It'll be a burglar alarm, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The mage hand
So-
will do that.
Yeah, the mage hand is something you could use to try and steal something and trigger it at range, possibly.
Mike.
Yes.
Like the mage hand's range not very long, is it?
30 feet.
30
I
feet,
think.
I think.
30 feet.
Yes, you can
Not
only
bad.
really do the left and right hand side of the door.
Have we got a spell that could sort of basically knock all of the items off the shelves?
Got a thunder wave.
I'm not sure that's the way to do this, Rum. See, I think that we could take the griffin. I think that basically that is a figurine of wondrous power. I reckon nothing will happen if we take it. I'm guessing, but obviously. But
Why would one item be unprotected?
I think a lot of them are unprotected. I think in amongst them, one of these radiating magic things is the trigger.
When Mike said something's going on here, that's probably those are the ones with the triggers on them.
Maybe.
I think you're right. The Griffin one he didn't say that for the Griffin.
I'd be very careful at
Yeah, yeah.
inferring too much from anything that I've been describing. I don't know that I would want to, rely on the way I've described everything in court.
It's quite possible the bits of creatures are the defense mechanism and the statues are red herring.
Talking of red herrings, how's Goldie?
14 minutes in. I wonder if we shouldn't have a quick peer into the room at the bottom so that we know there's nothing
Yeah.
behind us.
Yes.
There's nothing. Well,
If things kick off, we don't necessarily want someone approaching us from behind, do we?
No.
it's got this bloody brain there. That's the thing that worries me. It's like, what is that?
But that's static.
It's static, but it's blocking our exit.
There could be bad guys through this door.
That's a big room on the
Have
other
we
side.
considered
Probably
throwing the goldfish at the brain?
That's a sentence you don't hear
We
very
have,
often.
but we have decided not to do that yet.
It's a stone brain.
Okay, so do you want to check the door behind, or do you want
I
to check
think we
the
should.
door?
I'm
in
going to
front?
listen at that door.
The thing is, it's
Give me a
it's a
perception check,
large
Graham.
area, so it's probably the big chamber in the middle.
Could be. 15.
You can't hear any distinct or identifiable sounds of anything per se, but you do get the sense that you're listening at least on a way into a larger space, if not directly into a larger space.
I'm going to move back to my bottom step.
Tell me about the door, Mike, at this entrance.
It looks pretty anonymous. It looks sort of, it's not ornate or decorated like the double doors into the, well, let's call it the museum chamber just for the purposes of as a shorthand. It's not like that. It's a standard wooden door.
Okay, so I've gone back down into the room where we originally encountered Octobot. Is it a pull towards me or push away from me type of door?
It's a pull towards you kind of door.
I will.
And it's got a latch, like a door hand, like a,
Yeah,
yeah,
got a standard entry kind of thing.
absolutely standard, yeah.
It's odd that that's the larger chamber and it's the smaller door.
I will stealthily try and open it a crack to have a look in. So if I may roll a stealth check. Let's see if I can roll better than I have been. 17, not disastrous.
Are you opening it far enough to look past it, or are you opening it only far enough to sort of look at the floor on the other side of it and a sliver of whatever's... You see what I'm saying?
kind of opening it an inch crack so I can
Right,
see.
if you open it an inch, it looks like it opens into some sort of passageway. The floor material and the walls look the same as the floor and the walls where you are.
I will keep pushing it gently. Or pulling it towards me, sorry. If that's
Pulling
what
it towards you, yes.
until I see more and more very gently.
Okay, to the point where you can kind of duck your head round the side of the door as it's opening and
Yeah.
have a quick glimpse. You see a short passageway, let's say that it's 20 feet or so, leading away from you to the northeast.
Yeah,
If there's this sort of implied arc or implied circle that you'll be
yeah.
exploring, it's pointing towards the centre of that circle.
Okay.
And then it seems to open out into what you think might be another circular chamber, but smaller than the museum chamber, half the size, perhaps
Okay.
20 foot across.
All right, what I want to do is...
Well, there's more. There's
okay.
more. A passageway seems to lead off the other side of that circular chamber,
Right.
and then you can see a balcony, and then you're looking out into space. Not space as in, the final frontier.
From my knowledge of Evenstar, are we near the... I can't remember what it's called, that cliff that goes
So not space like that. I mean a larger chamber.
Oh, okay.
Any signs of life?
Well, the space that this balcony overlooks is so large
Yeah.
that you can only vaguely make out the far side of it. And the only reason you can make out the far side of it is because in that chamber there's some very dim green glow is coming from somewhere. To the right, actually, of the balcony as you're looking into whatever it is. It's very difficult. You're looking at the far wall. You don't know how far up this balcony is, for example.
Okay.
You think that the whole thing might be 60 or 70 feet across. Imagine standing in a passageway, looking at a balcony, looking across the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral, right?
Yeah.
And you'd never been
Yeah.
there before. You don't know how much cathedral is above or below you. All you can see is a circular facing wall.
Yeah.
Let me
Should we proceed with caution
just
Well,
down that corridor?
let me just lay this all out on the map for you.
I don't know. I think that's going further into something bigger. I quite
I'm
like the
wondering
plan
about
with the
whether if
mage
it's a
hand.
balcony, we can throw the fish over the edge. Yeah.
yeah.
The circular chamber that sits in between you and this balcony, there is clearly, you can infer from the rippling blue light that suffuses the chamber, some kind of illuminated pool or something in the centre of it.
Looking similar to the one that's behind me.
Behind you there's a tank that had an
it's a tank.
giant octopus in it. This
So
thing
this is a pool.
yes, a foot off the floor. There may be a little lip running around, but it's definitely not something that's filling the room. You can see over it.
Yeah.
And as you look down that passageway into this giant chamber, a single purple tentacle snakes its way around from the wall on the side of the balcony, followed by a bulbous purple head with a baleful yellow eye that regards you. And we will pick things up next week.
Another one of
Another
those
one of
things.
these things.
Jeez.
It's surf and turf, isn't it?
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Hall of Harsh Reflections and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Hall of Harsh Reflections was written by Jason Bullman. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.